This was me, Brian Butterfield, 6 months ago before starting my diet plan. But just look at me now. I feel like a new man thanks to the Butterfield diet. The results have been incredible. Okay, here's your weekday plan. Breakfast, 1 cornflake, toasted with low-fat spread. Lunch, small raw potato, peeled. Dinner, square of low-fat turkey breast. Baked bean in low-fat tomato sauce. Then, at the weekend, it's time for a reward. For 24 hours, you can literally eat anything.
Pizza, birthday pie, pints of cream, pork cylinders, potato grids, artificial bacon, large macs, sandwich casserole, chocolate quail's eggs, garlic pudding, fluffy ruffs, hoisin crispy owl, pasta pillows, bonbons, McFortune cookies, discount foie gras, egg and ham slabs, during dinner mince, mystery meat, quiches Lorraine, 20 cheese omelette.
The Butterfield Diet Plan. Order it exclusively online at www. Butterfield Diet, .com. Call now.
TBTL.
I would like to get everyone's first impressions. Who'd like to jump in? Anyone? How about you, Ramon?
It's just stupid.
Okay. Could you elaborate, Ramon? Stupid how? Please, be as specific as possible, Ramon.
I thought, well, this is a great, bright group of people. They're really into what they're doing. They're exciting. They're excited. They're doing cool things. They're wacky, and I fit right in.
Hello, Town Jubilation Committee? Yeah, I got something that's gonna make you a lot less jubilant.
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Oh, you're gonna love the Liff and Tweedle out of this.
My name's Luke Burbank, I'm your host.
No, I'm afraid I just blew myself.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia here on Black Friday.
Don't stay in my house if you're dark-sided.
Huge Black Friday deals on this podcast today. This podcast is 100% free. Or also you could donate money to support it, but you get to decide what that is. So effectively, it's 100% off today here on episode 4,608 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
All week we've been trying to get to these two kind of mysterious television programs, The Chair Company and Pluribus.
The past is history. The future's a mystery.
And doggone it, we're going to finally do that today on this Friday edition of the show. Also, I just received an amazing email.
And when he said that shocked me.
Which I'd like to share with all of you. Oh, and we're doing a special Friday Blur's Day messages today. So we'll be celebrating folks who have been born in the during this week and in the recent past. We're also going to say hello to the longest-running Cobra of the program, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships he is heading into this weekend. Absolutely locked in and laser-focused.
Everybody wants to be the Beast, but they don't want to do what the Beast do.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. I'd like to tell you very quickly about something that I did yesterday and how it was followed up upon this morning with a text message.
Okay.
I had a little crack in my protective covering on my, I guess you call it a screen protector on your phone. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the plastic kind now. My phone fell when I was in Ohio, and luckily I had that protector on it, and then the protector itself cracked, but I knew the phone was safe underneath. I lived with the cracks on the phone screen for a while, but I was like, okay, I need to take care of this. My plan was going to be one of two things. Go back to the T-Mobile store, buy a way overpriced screen protector like the one that I originally bought when I bought my phone, have them install it for me, which I know is something that is very doable, but I just hate putting these things on phones. I always mess it up, get a bubble under there or something. Or I could go online on eBay and buy like some super cheap version of a screen protector, which probably
you would
do
have
the
to
same
DIY.
job. Which I would have to DIY, which I've done before. Like I could do that. The thing is, I went
don't know if I even have one of those on my phone.
You
right now.
probably should. Boy, it really saved the day because I dropped my phone face down right on hard tile, like, ceramic hard tile. And it cracked, but luckily it was the screen protector that cracked, and the screen was protected. So anyway, I remember when I was buying my phone, and I didn't want to walk out of the store without a screen protector, so I bought it, and they're $40 before tax at the store. And it's such a ripoff, but it's like, well, it's a brand new phone. They get you in the where you're vulnerable, which is brand new phone. I don't want to walk out of here with it. Most people, though, if they needed to replace it, would go on Amazon or eBay or something, find a cheaper alternative and install it themselves. But the thing was, not only do I like the fact that they put it on for me, but all of the ones I saw on eBay just seemed like they might not be as good. I don't want to get into the details on it. It doesn't matter. Point is, I decided to do something I don't usually do, which is probably spend about 4 to 6 times more money by just driving to the T-Mobile store. It's kind of like, I feel like I'm maybe slipping into my dad and his relationship with the Nerd Squad a little bit. Like, I just don't want to think of our Geek Squad. No, he hangs out with the Nerd Squad. It saves a little bit of money.
He goes to Second Best Buy and hangs out with the Nerd Squad.
That's right. He goes to Rest Buy, which is if you're not the best, you're the rest. No, but anyway.
Buy. The B fell off years ago, and they haven't had the budget to replace it.
Swing in there. I'm sorry to make this so long because I really don't want to take up too much time with this, but the point is, I am just realizing now, boy, that is kind of a Bob Walsh kind of maybe an older gentleman sort of move to just be like, I'm gonna let the kids take care of this for me. I'm gonna overpay for it. So I go to the T-Mobile store. I walk in. I ask them, I'm like, do you have any of those screen protectors? Or like, yeah. I'm like, they're like $40, right? And the woman who was helping me said, well, actually, the best one we have is $60, but we have one that's also $40. I'm like, I will take the $40 one.
I don't think the street value of my phone is $60 at this point. I still have the one that uses the thunder lightning hurricane.
Yeah.
I don't even have a USB-C. Like, I am really, really in the... I don't think this phone is worth $60 right now.
So I did not go with the $60 one. I'm like, no, I'll just take the $40 one, the same one that I had on there. And I'm like, but I did say you'll install it for me, right? And she said, oh, yeah. And so we sit down at a little table in T-Mobile store. By the way, I've been in there twice in the past, 6 to 8 months. That place is always hopping. They're doing the walk-in traffic at a T-Mobile store in my neighborhood is surprisingly robust. Anyway, she's a nice person. We chat a little bit while she professionally puts this thing on my phone. I'm always a little bit conscientious of not kind of being too chatty, but whatever. But I really I really enjoyed my experience. She was nice to me. I don't think I annoyed her too much. She put this thing on. It took about 5 minutes, and I was out of there. I really appreciated the service, to be honest with you, and I was just glad I did that. I splurged a little bit. I didn't have to worry about it. Didn't have to wait for the protectors to come to my house and then find out whether or not they fit and all that. So all of that is to say, today I wake up. I sit down on the toilet. I'm going to the bathroom. That part isn't important, but I just want you all to picture that. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Post-Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Talk about Black Friday.
Too much meat. Anyway, I got this text message from an unknown number that says, this is from T-Mobile. Thanks for visiting us earlier this week. Please tell us about your experience. To opt out of this, just type stop. Here's a survey for you. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I really enjoyed my experience there. I'll fill out the survey. It kind of happens. You answer one question, then they text you a follow-up question. So the first question is, it says 1 out of 4. How satisfied were you with the assistance you received from our team member? 0 to 10. 10 would be extremely satisfied. I wrote 10.
Nice.
Luca is extremely satisfied. Second question. Yeah. Were you able to accomplish the reason for your visit? 1 means no. 2 means partially. 3 means yes. I hit 3. Yes. I was able to accomplish the reason for my visit. It went really smoothly, Luke. Question 3 out of 4. Based on your visit, how likely are you to recommend T-Mobile to your friends and family?
On your podcast.
Yes. Please reply 0 to 10 scale, where 0 is not at all likely and 10 is extremely likely. Keep in mind, this is how likely are you to recommend T-Mobile to your friends and family based on your visit. Now, listen, it was a great experience. But I'm not going to go around suggesting people switch to T-Mobile because somebody put a screensaver, a $40 screensaver on my phone and wasn't rude to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy with my service.
That would honestly be an unhinged response.
That would be an unhinged response. So, but it's not like I'm not likely at all. So I just put 5. It's right in the middle. I'm not extreme. It's not extremely likely that I'm going to recommend T-Mobile, but it's also not at all likely.
Zero. It's a non-zero chance.
So 5, just seems. Yeah. So that was question 3 out of 4. 4 out of 4 after I put 5 was, sorry to hear that you're not satisfied. Please tell us why you gave that score. I wrote back.
No way.
Yes. And this is, I've been such old man yells at clouds lately, but like this is another thing.
The thing is, you've been answering a lot of surveys.
I know. Well, that's true too.
More than I think
most people
would
ignore it, but I just look, Luke. I told you I didn't have anywhere to be in that particular moment. If you know what I'm saying, I'm sitting down. Okay, and so anyway,
that was the joke that I missed the first time around.
It says, would you like us to? It said, sorry to hear that you were not satisfied. Please tell us why you gave that score. And I wrote, I am satisfied. Customer service was great, but I don't recommend mobile networks based on getting a new screen protector. And I'm just like, who's reading this? The robots? And so then they wrote, would you like us to contact you to help resolve a specific issue? No, yes by email or yes by phone. I wrote 1, there is no issue.
You should have said yes by phone. They call you and you go, I'm about to go recommend to one of my friends that they switch to T-Mobile, but I'm nervous to do it. Can I keep you in my pocket and put on the AirPods, and can you talk me through it?
Yes.
So you'll be able to hear me
like that.
talking to my friend, but I need you to kind of like Cyrano de Bergerac this.
I'm going to go to the bank and take out my life savings while I keep you on the phone.
I'm going to keep you on speakerphone in my pocket.
Yeah. Anyway, so I tried to just rectify. I wrote, would you like us to contact you to help resolve the issue? No, yes by phone, yes by email. I wrote 1 as in no. There is no issue. And then they're like, sorry, your response was not recognized. Please respond with a number 1 through 3. And this, I guess the heart of the matter is like, I was just trying to do this person a solid because she did a good job. She did exactly. And I truly appreciated it. Quietly, not, it's just like I didn't have to go on the podcast and tell this story. It's a boring story. I realize that. Let's see, 12 minutes in. I got to wrap this up. But it's just, I think that these surveys aren't really about service. I think they're more about, can we brag about our numbers when Luke Wilson or Billy Bob Thornton are pretending to be cowboys walking in a dusty wasteland.
When they're separating facts from fertilizer.
And opening up cans of Whoop Up or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? They just want to say, it's the polls show. It's the most respected or most, what would it be in this case? Most suggested mobile carrier or whatever, or recommended is the word I'm looking for.
They need to only give you the option of like 9 to 10. Don't give you 1 through 8.
Right.
So in other words, how likely, on a scale of 9 to 10, how likely would you be to recommend someone else get T-Mobile? And then they can go, 100% of these people gave us a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, right? And then, oh, hey, kind of like you can only get a medium large or extra large soda at some places, right? It's
right. Like if they're trying to goose the numbers.
Yeah, they're goosing, Luke. They're
Might
goosing.
as well goose them.
They're goosing. Yeah, and the rideshare services do that too.
They're goosing it.
Like if you have
goosing.
If you have a choice between 1 through 5 stars on a rideshare service, it seems to me that 3 would be, I got exactly what I expected. A car picked me up. I was never in danger. It was fine. I didn't necessarily fall in love with my driver. We didn't have a meet cute, but it was fine. It was 3. But if you put a 3 on any of the apps, we're like, oh my God, tell us what went wrong. We're going to have this person fired. You're like, that's just not how this should work.
And the problem, too, is that there was a decision, obviously, that was made about what the threshold was for, like, can we do a wellness check on you? And they set it at 5. They could have set it at 3, like you said. They could have set it at 2. That 2 or 3, probably 2 or 1 would be where it might, hey, how do we make this right?
Absolutely.
But somebody basically pitched this in a meeting, and they said, we want to be truly excellent. We don't want to be the kind of company that settles for good enough. And the way we're going to do that is by super serving and white glove servicing everyone who even puts a 5. And it was like pitched as this like way that they're going to be truly excellent. But what it really means is just like, you are just trying to be like, yeah, it was fine. I'm probably not going to like shout it from the mountaintops, but I don't have a problem with it. And they're like, okay, next thing you know, T-Mobile commandos are kicking in your windows, swinging in on those ropes.
Yes, what's wrong? Are you okay?
And it was all because somebody pitched in a meeting that we are going to be truly excellent, and we're not going to. Other places, a 5, They think that's good enough, but not here at T-Mobile.
No.
We're going to open a can of whoop-up on any employees who get a 5.
Anyway, those were my facts. Those were my fertilizer. Now, you, I know,
I've
have
separated
a
them.
very... Please.
I'm very excited to read you this
keep
email. Actually,
combining
you know
them.
what, though? Can we do this first? Can we thank some donorinis? And then I'll read you this email, and we'll talk a little bit about the chair company in Pluribus here in a moment.
Thank you, baby.
All right, let's thank some donors here on this day after Thanksgiving. We had agreed earlier this week that we don't like the term Black Friday, Andrew, and now I've called it Black Friday like 4 times.
I really dislike it.
Yeah.
I really dislike it. But you know what I will say? I give
Brown Friday is better.
No, it's not. I give all of our donors 5 stars today, Luke. And
On a
it's
scale of
meaningful 5 stars.
Exactly. It's on a scale of -30 to 5.
Exactly.
So it's incredible what a high ranking we're giving to Alex Pearl of Edmonds, Washington.
Thank you, Alex.
I can't think of Edmonds, Washington without thinking of Rick Steves and without thinking of Livewire December 5th with Rick Steves and Lindy West and Megan Hatcher-Mays and Broody Brothers. Please come see us at Benaroya Hall December 5th. We'll see you there. I don't know about Alex. Alex has done a lot for me already by donating. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Thanks to Catherine Urbati out there in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hey, hot zip for TBTL.
I wonder if
there.
it's snowy there yet. You know, when I was back in Minnesota in the Twin Cities, not when you and I were there with John, but on a subsequent trip, I was talking to the Lyft driver, and he said last year they got one actual snowstorm.
What? In the Twin Cities?
In Minnesota, in the Twin Cities, he said they had maybe 2 max, but he said it only snowed once or twice the whole winter. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I just sort of picture that place as being...
I don't believe him.
I don't know why he would lie. I mean, if anything, if he was like your Lyft driver back in Cleveland, he'd be saying it snows 11 feet a day and I have no way to keep my apartment warm.
He's star searching. He's trying to get that 5-star rating, and so he's trying to make it sound like he's just
from a -30 to 5 stars.
It's just an easy breezy, cool game. I don't know. It doesn't snow here often. I'm a cool guy. You're going to give me 5 stars and a tip.
Nancy Richardson is in a place where if it snows, you are in the movie Ernest Saves Christmas.
Does that
which
happen?
Is in St. Petersburg, Florida. It does. I believe in Ernest Saves Christmas. The movie is set in Orlando, and it has never snowed at Christmas in Orlando. And then, of course, it does eventually, which is the sort of celebratory ending of the movie when Ernest has saved Christmas. I wonder if that holds up.
The movie?
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that bothers me about it right now. And maybe this is appropriate because we're about to get into
coming for
some
Ernest Saves Christmas
TV conversation, and we're going to give probably a spoiler alert, because we're going to be talking about a couple of shows that we love that are still kind of like in their seasons, and so but we want to talk about it, so we'll let people know. Hey, listen, if you're watching this or still catching up,
listening,
maybe
watching the show,
watching
the TV shows, listening to us,
maybe spoiler alert, maybe pause, maybe fast forward a little bit. Here we have a movie called Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah.
You're literally telling us how it ends.
Yeah,
You're literally saying, come see this movie. At the end,
Mm-hmm.
Ernest Saves Christmas. And I just sort of feel like, can we let the mystery be?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. That is it's not trusting the audience.
It's
very
not
much.
trusting the audience, exactly.
In the past, there have been many traditional ways to celebrate Christmas. With songs, with gifts, with family and friends. There's a new way.
Ho, 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 Bert.
With Ernest.
I can't stay mad at him.
Ernest?
It's got Jonathan Winters in it.
Oh, really?
I forgot about that. I think that's Jonathan Winters.
P. Worrell. He's back.
Know what I mean?
Back to save Santa.
Santa's in the slammer.
Look at those beady, twinkling eyes.
Back to save Christmas. Back to save face.
You're dead meat.
That's life for you.
Isn't she a doll?
Ernest P.S.T. world.
Mr. Funtime.
In the mission they said couldn't be done.
On Comet, on Cupid, on Donder.
In the movie they said shouldn't be done.
I actually kind of like that line.
Me too.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Jonathan Winters in the cast, by the way.
No,
it might be
and the guy was
somebody who
too
looks like
young,
him.
but the guy has a very
I think it's
very Jonathan Winters look in
see
the
him
movie, but
here.
he's not him. But it's like he clearly people say, "Are you Jonathan Winters?" And I say, "No, I'm not." But I sat next to him and I
wow,
studied him.
does he look like him? His name is Gaylord Sartain. That's Gailard. Gaylord. I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Sartain. And I'm looking to see what else this fellow's been in. But he's got like Jonathan. He's like that song goes. He's got Jonathan Winter eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
And they've especially in just the trailer for Ernest Saves Christmas, which by the way I saw in a theater.
Oh, did you?
Probably the Oak Tree Cinema near the Vibe Sports Bar.
Oh yeah, sure.
But
that's my movie
anyway,
theater. He was in Hee Haw, and then he's known from being in the Ernest movies and the TV series.
Ah, okay.
So this
There
is
you
his
go.
main claim to fame. I think I saw Ernest Saves Christmas on a Laserdisc. No joke. I think one of the few films
I
I've
do
seen
feel
on
like it's the kind of movie that if you just, as the viewer in 2025, if you just sort of like release, like if you just make yourself ready for the experience, for the absolute silliness of the film, it could be kind of fun.
I could not agree more. And I might even actually literally write that down right now. There are a few movies that I want to watch this holiday season because I don't get into like real
It's a Wonderful
schmaltzy
Life
stuff
or
like
kind of
the
stuff like that.
But I would watch. I told you I want to watch Mixed Nuts again. We were talking about that on the show, I think, maybe off air. You and I sometimes talk about Mixed Nuts off air. And I will put Ernest.
That's
Saves
premium
Christmas.
content, and that's going to be next TBTL-thon. That's going to be a new level if you want to hear us talk about the movie Mixed Nuts.
That's right. We could do a watch along, and then Pottersville. That movie with Michael Shannon where he's mistaken to be a Sasquatch. Nobody knows about this. I always tell you about it.
I
It's
always get stuck on the
sleeper.
name because that's obviously a play on It's a Wonderful Life. Because
Yeah, and it takes place during
Bedford
Christmas
Falls
time.
gets turned into Pottersville when George Bailey wasn't born. So that's that's got me intrigued.
Yeah.
Now, is it a conservative coded Sasquatch?
Well, it's giving a peace symbol. It's taking a very large stride, and
Is
it's
it
got
a QAnon Sasquatch, like our friend Barry observed?
Oh,
in
that's
Idaho?
right, in Idaho.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Shout out to Pottersville. If you don't know about it, Michael Shannon, Judy Greer, Thomas Lennon, Ron Perlman, Christina Hendricks, and then somebody named Ian McShane, who I don't know, but I'm
you
sure
do.
does a bang-up job. You know?
Did you watch Deadwood?
No, I didn't. I should, huh?
He was Swearingen in Deadwood. Did you watch Hot Rod?
No, but I love that tape.
I think he's Andy
You used to
Samberg's
use.
stepdad in Hot Rod.
That's
maybe?
the AM radio, isn't what it used
Yes.
to be. Right?
That's Chris Parnell talking about AM radio.
Parnell, yes.
So good for us. I'm not sure how snowy it is in Lake Forest Park, Washington. I bet not very snowy today.
No, not too
but that's where Mary Ellen Cavalon is.
Thanks,
Another
Mary
donor we're
Ellen.
thanking. Thanks, Mary
Nice.
Ellen. Thanks to Danielle Cordaro in Akron, Ohio.
Oh, Danielle's going to be excited for the Chair Company talk, which is in that part of the world. Akron,
Well, as long as she's not in
Canton
Delaware City, because that place is rotten to the core.
It certainly is.
And then we've got Angie Panion in Naperville, Illinois.
Nice. That's awesome.
Thank you, Angie. Hey, thanks to all of our donors. Thanks for making this thing happen 5 days a week, even on Brown Friday. We are here doing TBTL for you because of your support. So thank you very much. Wouldn't be here without you.
Hello and welcome to Top Story.
Dear Luke, we were delighted to hear you mention on the show that feed two birds with one scone, along with our other animal-friendly idioms, has become second nature to you. Thanks so much for showing that there's more than one way to peel a potato. Words matter, and we can all choose to use language that encourages kindness to animals. As a thank you, we'd love to send you some of our two birds with one scone mugs, if you could let me know your address. Signed, West Burdett, Press Officer, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
I have mixed emotions about this because while I'm very happy about this for you and us, I don't say this often, I am a little jealous. I feel like I picked up that mantle so hardcore. I came up with 2 Dougs or I don't have a Doug,
No
on,
Doug
this
on this
flight.
flight?
I feel like I use that a lot.
I believe
but I
you
don't,
said the other day, like,
just
completely reflexively.
Yes,
which
and I
is
feel like
impressive.
I really picked up the mantle, but nobody knows who I am. So
I don't think it's that. I think I am the one who is loud and proud about my animal empathy. So I think I'm taking up all the oxygen in the room about that. But what I will tell you, Andrew, is
Well, where do you think you said this from? TBTL, or was it sent to one of your?
it was sent to my TBTL account, Luke at
Oh.
tbtl.net, from Wes Burdett at PETA.org. Don't only send Wes nice emails, please. I just gave his email address out
Yeah,
on
it's a
the air.
press
But,
officer that they can.
Yeah, you're right. Good
feel
point.
things, yeah.
They're looking for attention. The other thing is from Wes's email, it sounds like there might be multiple 2 birds, 1 scones mugs, and I will get
I appreciate
multiple,
that.
and I will bring or mail you 1 or more of. Although then you got a 1 in 1 out policy.
Yeah, I've been sort of shirking that policy
Mhm.
or sort of honking around that policy, as you
Maybe
might say.
maybe downstairs you could hide.
Yeah,
a
I'm
few.
kind of squirreling some away here and there. Yeah, depending on the design on that thing. I mean, I like birds. I'm not a huge scone person. It's hard to imagine a graphically designed scone in an
I have a
interesting
feeling
way.
and I say this with peace and love to the folks at PETA. I assume it's a design nightmare. But I feel like that's
Let me look it
actually
up.
part of what's great about it.
Do you think that if I type in PETA,
I bet you
2
that the PETA gift
birds,
shop, you could probably find
1
one.
scone? Do you want me to spoil this for you, or do you want me to Ernest Saves Christmas this for you, or do you just want to wait for them to arrive? And where are they sending them?
Well, I sent them the address of the Madrona Hill studio.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So they asked for your. I didn't remember if they asked for that.
Yeah, but I'm here's my theory. I think one of our lovely listeners dropped a dime on us with PETA in a good way. Basically, I would be pleasantly surprised if PETA was listening to the show on the daily. I think that's unlikely. I think somebody reached out to them and said, "Hey, there's a podcast that's really." There's one member of a podcast named Luke who's really been pushing the envelope on using these terms. And in fact, invented the phrase "no Doug on this flight,"
right?
And should receive many, many free mugs and a lot of adulation. No, I think one of our listeners must have emailed them, and then they. I mean, again, I would be pleasantly shocked, which is to say, I don't think it's the case that they've even listened to one episode of the show. They just probably know there is a show, and someone said we're using these phrases. But I'm into it. I'm flattered to whatever degree we're on their radar.
Okay, so 2 things here. First of all, I'm looking at the mug. It's actually kind of cute. It's a white mug. It says "Feed 2 birds with 1 scone." I mean, it does. It's not a some sort of huge accomplishment of design, but it's not bad. The only thing that's kind of bad about it is I don't like the PETA logo. I've never understood why that E is a swirly E amidst like block letters of PT.
It is
and
an
A.
interesting. That's an interesting design choice, and I've always noticed it too. That the way that they do the E. Maybe it's because they're trying to set aside ethical.
Maybe.
I don't know why. That's why they wanted to really emphasize maybe just being ethical in your life. But I'm with you. I don't love the logo itself. But yeah, it's kind of. I mean, this looks like a mug that your Aunt Kathy would have.
Yes.
In her
yeah,
kitchen,
you're looking
right?
at it. You found it too. Yeah, yeah.
It's got a real country kitchen kind of vibe.
Yeah, and you were right about it being in the gift shop. Now, I know.
What are the other things in the PETA gift shop?
Yeah, you look that up. I want to tell you about something. And this is, I think, I'm just double checking that it's okay to share. This was sent to me kind of privately, but I think it's okay to share. So you, of course, remember one-time very young listener Aiden, one of our early young listeners, like regular listeners of TBTL, Will's son Aiden.
Yes, Pilot Will.
I got a text message from Will and our friend Bobby the other day. Apparently, Will was going through some old boxes of stuff that they had saved or whatever, and they found this, Scholastic, like the kind of kids, like educational company Scholastic. This was probably in some sort of a workbook or something, and it's like a fake newspaper that the kid is supposed to fill out, and it says at the top, extra, extra, read all about me, and then it says the blank Times, and you can fill in your name, the Aiden Times, and this is dated. Looks like this is maybe from. It looks like 2020, although I think that's too. I think he'd be too young for this to be 2020. I can't quite read that. But then there's a place for you to write your exclusive story told here for the very first time. It's kind of a parody newspaper. Bottom left-hand corner, yes, as Bobby pointed out, below the fold, but still, I'll take it. There is a square that says, meet my hero. And then there's a little place where you can draw your hero. And there's a little round circle with I'll be honest with you, somewhat disturbing depiction of somebody wearing glasses with a beard around a maniacal smile. And it says, Andrew is a podcarder. He makes a podcast with his good friend Luck. The podcast name is TBTL. I love this podcast so much.
Aiden.
Luke, it says, meet my hero, Luke. How do you think... You can keep both PETA mugs, Luke, because I'm putting this on the refrigerator.
Yeah, you should. That is so awesome.
That really
touching.
gave me feels. I'm not joking.
And really, we joke about the show and the quality of the show and all of all the self-deprecation and et cetera. And in doing all that, I personally sort of forget sometimes that it is going out into the world and it is hitting people's ears. And people of all ages, and they're having their experience with it, and that is such an incredibly sweet thing to hear. I believe Aiden is benching about 180 now. I think he's yoked. Last time I talked to Will, he was showing me pictures of Aiden freaking putting up heavy weight.
I know.
I think who knows how much creatine he's on these days, and if we're still his heroes.
Well,
I mean, really sweet.
I think I paved the path for that, right? He looked at me. He looked at my buff body.
Yeah,
and said, "I want to try to achieve that.
I want to be an Adonis, like Andrew,
like my hero.
That's really
Andrew.
sweet.
Yeah,
I know. That
really sincerely got me when I received this. So
can I ask you a question about I don't know, being a nudge.
About, are you going to be a nudge towards me?
No, towards PETA, potentially. So I'm on the PETA gift shop, and I really like this hat that says Rat Pack.
You're going to ask if you can get the hat instead of the mug.
Or maybe a hat instead of a mug. Or... Are you looking at this hat though?
I'm looking for. Is it under clothing? No, that's
maybe
tank tops,
apparel, accessories. If you go to accessories, and the first one is hats. Look at this Rat Pack hat. It's kind of cool.
Can I? Well, I know that we,
Not for you.
No, it's cool. It seems like your kind of hat too. You like those kind of what do you call them? Those form-fitting, unstructured hats. I feel like the move here, though, and I know that some of our listeners have, I was going to say complicated. I don't want to say anything rude right now because you just got a nice note from them, and I'm still in the business to get that free mug. But I know that some of our listeners feel that PETA is not a great organization based on some of their, and I don't really want to weigh in on that right now. Yeah. I don't have strong feelings about PETA, but I sort of feel like the move here would be for you to buy the hat and support
I'm buying
the organization.
The hat.
It's $35.
I'm buying 2 of the hats.
Yeah, I'm buying all of the hats. I'm taking all of the hats.
But it is really here's the thing. I'm right on the edge of feeling comfortable wearing a PETA hat, and this is what I mean. Nothing to do with PETA's politics or whatever. And yeah, we've had some people send some emails. I respect everyone's opinion on these matters. I still think any group that is out there pushing the conversation around, or at least causing the conversation to occur around, hey, could we be a little nicer to animals? I think that's a good conversation to have. Now, when I say I'm right on the edge of being comfortable wearing a PETA hat, what I mean is, do my personal ethics line up with when you wear? Because the back of this hat that says Rat Pack, the back says PETA.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel if you wear a hat from people for the ethical treatment of animals, you better really have your ethical treatment of animals in line. It can't be the one time I decide to go to Fogo de Chao.
Right, yeah.
With my PETA hat on. I feel like it's a lifestyle. You're sending a message, you're saying, I really care about animals, and then you better live accordingly as the person wearing the garment, if you will.
Yes, and do you think it's weird that it's on a leather hat?
I think that the leather is from veal.
Okay, so
Seems
that's okay
unnecessary.
Then.
The youngest, most supple leather they could find.
Oh man, they are not giving you any mugs if they hear this. Can I ask a favor? If you do any negotiating about other giveaways, could you get me this spaghetti strap tank top that says SeaWorld sucks?
How much would I have to pay you to wear a spaghetti strap tank top that said SeaWorld sucks.
Luke, I know that this is a place where we all respect each other and ourselves.
Yeah.
But I'm not exaggerating when I say it would be a literal sex crime for me to put this shirt on.
Against us, the rest of the world, or against
even
humanity?
if I'm telling you, if I was alone in my studio with the blinds drawn, this is a tiny little shirt. It's a tiny little shirt that probably only is supposed to come down to like above your navel. I don't know if you're looking at, but it's like if you were to see me in this, and even if you weren't to see me in this, just to know that somewhere I am wearing this shirt, it would be so offensive that it would be a crime.
TVTL breaking news.
Andrew, I've heard back from Wes at PETA.
What did you say? Did you try to upsell to the hat?
No. I hadn't seen the hat yet.
Okay.
I didn't even know what I was asking for. I said, hi, Wes. How did you hear about us using the PETA terminology? Did you hear what I said there, Andrew? Us.
I appreciate
us
that.
Using the PETA terminology.
How did you hear about me and my hero using the PETA terminology?
There goes my hero. God dang it. Where's my karaoke machine? Someone's been touching my karaoke machine. I said, how did you hear about us using the PETA terminology? Did one of our listeners reach out? Best L. I gave him my address. And then Wes got right back to me 6 minutes ago and said, hi, Luke, you have many listeners here at PETA, and several heard you mention using them. Thank you so much for getting back to me. Your mug is on the way.
Whoa. So really?
It sounds like organically people at PETA are hearing us do this show. And I am personally very honored by that. Thank you.
I'm honored by that. Now I'm even more in my head about me trying to stumble my way to delicately say that some of our listeners
You're just trying to represent. I'm not being sarcastic here.
Yeah.
You're just trying to represent all sides. And, big organizations are complicated and have many sort of facets to them and elements. And I would imagine that you can find examples of things that could be done in a more ideal way in a lot of big organizations. And I'm not trying to tap dance here just because I have a new best friend named Wes who I'm trying to get a free hat from.
That really, that I kind of missed the lead on that, huh? So there's just tons of people there over at PETA, and they're all listening to TBTL, but they're only hearing you. They're only hearing you use these phrases. They're only sending you mugs.
Well, they know I'm a friend to the animals. They know that I lie in bed worrying about if horses are cold. I saw a horse the other day when Becca and I were driving out to like a Christmas tree farm, and it was really rainy. It actually wasn't even cold outside. I bet you this horse was actually like, I'm overheated right now. Like it was not cold out. It was just rainy. It was gross. It was rainy and muddy. And I was like enjoying being inside a car. And then we drove by a horse that was just like standing in a field getting rained on. And I was just like, that's a day ruiner for me.
Yeah,
so they hear it in my voice. They know that I am a true empath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't care about the animals, honestly. I just want mugs and hats and spaghetti strap shirts.
You're getting one of those now, buddy. Hey, let's finally talk Chair Company and Pluribus. And again, yes, spoilers may follow here in this conversation. So caveat emptor.
Is there any chance I could put in a request to talk Pluribus first? Because there's something specific. Like Chair Company, it's just, that's fun. I would love to know how you're feeling about it.
We just like to say things to each other from the show.
Right,
really.
exactly.
That's mostly what it's about.
When we first brought this up earlier this week about having a conversation about these shows, I don't know that I had any point I wanted to make about the Chair Company, other than I just was excited for you to catch up. But I could certainly have a conversation about that. But there's one thing very specific on my mind about Pluribus that I've been kind of interested in talking to you about and seeing if your experience matches up with mine. Would you mind? Sorry,
absolutely.
It would be weird, I guess, if you said no. But
I'm also I'm 90% sure that I'm caught up on the show because I watched it last weekend, and I don't think they've put a new one out since then.
Let's see, they come out on Friday, so there are four episodes.
As this is airing, there might be a new episode released, but we haven't watched it. You and I haven't. So we were both on episode 3. We're at the same place.
No, 4. I've watched 4 episodes.
Oh boy, I hope I've watched 4.
I don't. I watched the last one late last night. So, okay, so this is spoiler territory. I think I warned folks before, but now we are getting into it, so now would be the time. Giving you a little bit of space there. But episode 1 sets everything up.
It's called P.E.S.T, Andrew. That's our new organization.
What is
People for the Ethical Spoiling of Television.
Hold on.
We're gonna make some hats.
Hold on, I gotta write that down. People for the ethical, because I'll never remember that. Spoiling of television. And then should I put in parentheses P.E.S.T. So the episodes, as I remember them off the top of my head, I see now I'm worried. You are, I think, I think you are behind on one. But either way, I was developing this theory anyway. Okay. Episode 1 is the really amazing episode in my eyes, where you get the setup of what's going on. Obviously, you've watched episode 1. Yes. Episode 2, our main character, Carol, is starting to deal with things. You know, the big reveal of the world she's living in now is upon her, but now she's dealing with it, and she's trying to bury her former partner, right?
Yeah, she's trying to, like, literally, her partner has died, and she's trying to dig a grave in their yard and finding it's very, very hard to dig a grave. And this, like, by the way, it's very sad that it took me this long to realize the messianic implications. Did you pick this up? You know, the woman, I guess the part of the pluribus who gets on that old airplane and flies it over.
Yeah.
Did you get her look when she's walking to the airplane? First of all, she's in the Middle East. She looks exactly like Jesus. She's wearing a robe. She's dirty. There's 12 people at one point who haven't been pluralized. The 12 disciples. Like it's giving, as they say, it's giving real Jesus vibes to me.
Oh yeah,
that character.
That was all lost on me. That's good. In fact, the way the woman is always looking at Carol it has that very, and this is gonna. I'm going to say something
Suffer
here
the little ones and bring them to me.
This is one of those things that I'm going to say that I understand if you would be offended by me saying this, and I don't mean it insultingly, but there are certain people who are deeply Christian, and they look at you a certain way. I'm thinking of specific women that I've worked with in the past at various organizations, and they cock their head and they always have this compassionate sort of, but there's a specific look to what I think of as like being very like front of mind Christian women who have a look. And now that you're mentioning this, there's an empathy, and it's like one of those things where in other times people would say, oh, well, you know, she's born again or whatever. And I'd be like, oh yes, that makes sense. The extra eye contact, the certain things. I've seen this sort of like kind of subtle kind of facial behavior before. And I'm blanking on the character's name, but yeah,
I actually don't know her name either. But which I feel like in this show is slightly defensible, because if they're part of the pluribus, they are essentially just like a nodule sticking out of an organism.
Okay, but wait, I do want to go back before we get to analyzing it, because I want to make sure, I want to see where you are. So there's the first episode, which we established. Episode 2, she's trying to bury her old partner. Episode 3, she's like on the plane. She's trying to contact the guy who.
The guy who speaks Spanish.
Right? I
think that might have been the last one.
Oh, damn. Okay, you're one behind. There are 4 out now. And now there's probably 5 as we speak. So that's okay, because the last episode doesn't change what I want to talk to you about, which is this. Maybe I might spoil a tiny bit for you, but it doesn't really affect the plot too much. But I loved episode 1 of Pluribus so much, Luke. Like, not knowing what was befalling the planet and the slow reveal of it was so... First of all, just it had me on the edge of my seat, but it was also mesmerizing the way... I mean, Vince Gilligan's basic art direction is amazing. Anyway, I don't know if I don't know to what degree he's directing these episodes, but it's such a... You can just tell
shows
his
just
visual...
have such a specific look to them, whether it's Better Call Saul, whether it's obviously Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and then the choreography involved too, with the like kind of like when they're kind of doing their dealio with their little petri dishes, the petri dish scene, and there are several things that are almost like who did the famous dance numbers where the camera was above.
Berkeley.
Yeah, in almost every episode there's some sort of Busby Berkeley-esque shot, like so beautiful. But here's the deal. I loved episode 1 so much, but then episode 1 is all about what is this thing that's befallen the planet, but then from episode 2 on, the shift of the story is not about the sci-fi, it's about how would one woman deal with this new reality. And we're getting a little bit more information about what's going on in the world. It's eking out here and there, but it's all about one woman's... It's like Last Man on Earth. I mean, tonally it's very different. And the thing is... and by the way, this is not a complaint about the show. It's just I realized this isn't the show that I thought it was. It's not the show that interests me as much. I kind of don't they're just way over-indexing on how much I care about Rhea Butler. Not Rhea Butler. Rhea Seahorn's character. I care always about Rhea Butler's character.
Who doesn't?
It would be great to bring her in. I have a pitch. But anyway, I just
and then
don't...
Rhea Perlman. We need the entire cast to be people that are named Rhea.
There is and this is where I'm going to spoil something for you, Luke, but apologies. But there's a small part of episode 4 where it focuses on somebody else for a while, and it is so
breath of fresh air.
Mesmerizing, and there's hardly any dialogue, but you're glued to the screen. And I'd already sort of had this theory that, like, I kind of just don't, if this storyline is just going to really focus on this one person and her emotional journey with all this, which you can totally make an argument for, is just not as interesting to me. And then we finally get another perspective, and now suddenly I'm like, okay, now the show's going to expand, but then it kind of shrinks back down again. And they're really asking her as an actor to do a lot. They're asking the writers to do a lot. And I just wish it had been more of a sci-fi movie that was really more about this phenomenon. That's what's going on. And maybe attempts to fight back that are taking up more of the plot.
I could not agree more. And I'm having, even though I'm only 3 episodes and I'm having the same experience, which is I thought it was going to be, and maybe eventually it will, but they're taking their sweet ass time. I thought it was going to be her banding together with the other people who are not part of the pluribus to defeat whatever this thing is and try to restore normal life. And I thought, well, they have to kind of give us a little character development on her, but it's like, I don't need any more scenes of her throwing away gourmet food that showed up at her house. You know, like there's establishing of like she's flying in the very furthest back seat of the coach section of the airplane. Like this idea that she is not embracing the pluribus world the way some of the other people who are like her have. Like I feel like I get it already as a viewer.
I get it, and it just sort of seems like they're kind of just grinding it in. It's
like I don't need an additional hour of her stomping around and being mad about this and being like, am I the only one who's crazy? Am I crazy here, or are you all crazy? Like, that's fine. We've established that for the character. I'd really like to get to some alien ass kicking.
Yes, or at least more alien explanation, or just let's see it from different perspectives. And again, I would say, and for people who are maybe listening and don't share these feelings, I want to be clear here. I'm not even saying this as a critique. I'm saying it as in, this show is taking a different direction than what I was hoping for. And not that it's necessarily doing a bad job of what it is trying to accomplish, but what it's trying to accomplish is way less interesting to me. And I think when you see the beginning of episode 4 from somebody else's perspective for a while, I think it amplifies that even more. Now, this next thing I'm going to say is a critique.
More of a comment than a question.
Like what I'm saying so far is just kind of like more of a matter of your taste in what you want to see. I do have some pretty major issues with episode 2. The idea of the few other English speaking sort of, we'll call them survivors, even though I don't know if that's a proper word, but let's say survivors. And I think it's an interesting exploration. I understand on an intellectual level that it's an interesting exploration of how different people would have different reactions to this phenomenon because of their current life status. In other words, you're suddenly realizing, Carol is having this experience because she lost basically the one person that was in her life that she loved, and now she's doing this totally alone. Whereas some of these other people who have survived, they're still quote unquote normal, but their loved ones are still alive. And that would totally, I think that I just want to make it clear.
And by the way, their loved ones are alive and probably being way more chill than they used to be.
And being chill, yeah. And so, because I feel like this is one of those things where if I offer the critique I'm about to offer, people will say I don't get it. No, I understand that is an interesting perspective to offer us.
About like grief and about the way that our own experience isolates us from other people who have different experiences.
Yes, but overall, her being in a room, was it 11 or is it 11 people on Earth and these are just like the 6 English speakers? I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But their reaction to her as if she is insane for being freaked out about this. And like, it's kind of interesting. One person is like, no, this is kind of great. Basically, all of these people are my servants and lovers now, which is kind of gross, but also, that's kind of interesting.
That could be a response.
Like some of this stuff is
by the way, unsubtly, he's flying in Air Force One.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But anyway, and so there are those who will take advantage of the situation. There are other people who will say, well, listen, my children and my parents are still alive, and I would do anything to protect them. I'm not trying to so I understand there would be sort of these reactions. But generally speaking, people would still be freaking out. Like they wouldn't look at Rhea Seehorn and be like, or Carol and be like, oh, like, get out of here. You're upsetting them. And, I understand that there are the implications of when she gets mad, she can risk the lives of some of their family members.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt your flow.
No, go ahead. I mean, that's basically my point. I find that those people's reactions in in episode 2 are really unbelievable. Like, and that to me really that's a core problem with the show from episode 2. Like that kind of sucked for me.
I have a bit of a problem with the idea that the Rhea Seehorn character can kill people by getting mad. Because at some point maybe it will be revealed or explained, but it felt to me like a device that they came up with to try to add some sort of special tension to the show about her feelings and her emotions and her feeling constantly like she can't feel her feelings because there's going to be an impact. But it's just like, why don't people die when the other whatever 11 or 12 people get mad? Like, why is she the only one that can apparently kill people by getting angry? And it just feels like so random, and like we don't really know what's going on in this version of the world. But that felt to me like they were trying to they invented that. That was, I guess you could say, a sort of a MacGuffin.
That's
like
interesting.
They invented it so that it would add some sort of special pressure on the situation. But I wish they would have picked something different, because I just don't understand why. And again, maybe they'll give us a really logical explanation in a few episodes. But that one to me was also a little bit. Again, I'm enjoying the show, and I'm definitely going to watch episode 4 and 5. It's like I'm almost going. I'm having the same experience you're having, which is that it's not kind of the show that I thought it was going to be. But I guess because I'm only really watching 2 things right now, The Chair Company and Pluribus, it's kind of like I'll give it an hour of my time, because it's just the acting is really good, and like you said, all the way that the set design is, like, it's keeping my attention, I guess, even though it's not like I felt when I started watching Breaking Bad and got 4 or 5 episodes in and was like, oh my God, this is so compelling. That's not the feeling I'm having, but I'm definitely like finding it entertaining.
I always think, did you watch all of Breaking Bad but none of Better Call Saul? Is that what
I don't even know if I finished Breaking Bad, if you can believe it.
Yeah,
And
because
here's what
I
would
thought
say.
you said that you did not watch that, just maybe the first season or something? Or
I think I watched the first maybe 2 or 3, but I will say this, what a weird, along with drinking coffee late at night, what a weird flex. But I'm very proud to say that I happened upon Breaking Bad well before any of the hype around Breaking Bad. I was literally like flipping the channels, and I was on AMC. Like, this is before the era of the apps. This is like, I have cable television, and I'd never heard of Vince Gilligan, and I just got caught watching 1 episode of it and was totally sucked in. And I remember going around telling people, like, there is this show called Breaking Bad that is like unbelievably well done, and I was shocked that there wasn't more hype around it. And then, of course, there was lots of hype. And then I didn't even probably finish the whole thing. But, I mean, I think that those first few seasons of Breaking Bad are just some of the best TV maybe ever. And I do mean to, by the way, watch Better Call Saul to completion. I think I've watched maybe the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I really enjoyed it. It's really just like a setting aside the time to sit down and do it thing for me.
I want to go back to your nitpick about the storyline where if she's mean to the Pluribus, then she endangers them, because I guess they're in good spirits all the time, but I guess when they're insulted or hurt in some way, she can literally kill them, which is like, I hadn't really thought of that aspect of it. Like, the only like real kind of complaint I had, specific complaint, was about like the reaction of the other survivors. I just felt that was incredibly unbelievable, at least for that early on in this process. But you're pointing that out, really, I couldn't agree with you more now that you pointed out like that. And it might even explain, like, maybe these people did have their freak out moments, these other survivors, and realized that they were endangering the others, the Pluribus, and so that's why they're so in line, maybe. But that doesn't make sense either, because we would have seen them having a convulsion or
and they would have said
You even when Rhea Seahorn or Carol would have seen it happening when she didn't trigger it if somebody else had triggered it somewhere else in the world.
Good point.
And
also that one character that's clearly set up to be the sort of the person that we don't like, the one the other survivor who's like really really mad at Carol from the jump.
Yeah,
I feel like she would have said something like, "We all learned how to control our rage" or something. You know what I mean? But your point is even better, which is that Carol would have been seeing everyone falling down in like dead fishing on the ground, not from her being mad.
Yeah.
One thing
I got to remember about the show that I always, when I'm watching it, I always have, when I say I got to remember it, I mean, I need to take a beat while I'm watching it to try to remember, are they all seeing? And the answer to that is no. Like when Carol, covers up all of her windows and Carol, block my windows, like I sometimes I just sort of forget because of the dynamics of them, because they're all knowing, because they're all tapped into each other's consciousness throughout the world. So this one being of, billions of heads is all sharing the world's knowledge, but it doesn't mean that they can see through walls, so she does have moments of privacy. I'm not going anywhere with that. It's just something that I always have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, if she and maybe I'm thinking about it for this reason. If she were to go up to one of the other survivors and whisper in their ear, "We need to get out of here," and they could communicate that way, and the pluribus would not know it, right? Like they can have private moments.
As long as the person she's talking to is not a pluribus. Right? Part of the pluribus.
Even if they were just in a room alone, as long as you can prove that they're not being bugged or anything, which they could be if they wanted to be. So it's just like there are ways that you could like do this without upsetting them, and just the idea that everybody else just like got right into line right away in episode 2, 48 hours after this happened, or maybe a week or whatever it is. Just does not match the reality of the show to me. It doesn't seem right.
It also feels to me like there's a little bit of, and again, I really have a lot of respect for Vince Gilligan and his writing team based on the other shows that I've seen, but it feels like there's some parts that I don't know if they've totally worked out. Like remember in the grenade episode, episode 3, I guess, and she's like, they bring her a live grenade, and then she's like, well, would you give me a nuclear bomb? And the guy's like, we would ask you why you need it. But it's like, so would they bring her? It seemed like, it felt to me like they hadn't fully landed, the writers hadn't fully landed on what the actual rules are for what the pluribus can and can't do. I mean, I guess the rule is they would have to bring her a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, or they would deliver her to a nuclear bomb, maybe.
But they'd have to do, essentially the rule is they have to do whatever she says.
I guess so. I guess that's what that scene is illustrating. And then there's another scene, and again, I'll tell you because it's not like some sparkly fat. Well, no, I'll keep my powder dry on what I was about to say. It doesn't matter. You know, basically what the show is, it's kind of becoming like each episode she learns one new thing or verifies one new thing about the behavior of the pluribus, so that she can like start to like kind of keep a record of how she can sort of jujitsu them against themselves, sort of.
Right. And it's obviously it's not going to be like Independence Day. She's not going to be Randy Quaid flying in a fighter jet bombing the pluribus. It's going to have to be some way that she sort of logics her way out of it or something.
Yeah. Which, and I guess this is a one thing that I'll tell you about episode 4. And I don't really blame the writers for doing this, but more and more I am struck by the devices TV and filmmakers use that are so antiquated and unrealistic, but it's such a good way of visually telling a story or visually getting a message across. I think it took the industry a disproportionately long time to give up on answering machines and listening to people's voicemails, because it's such a great way to get information quickly across to the audience, right? But nobody listens to voicemails anymore. You know, I think they used phones ringing for a long time until they finally got used to like the buzz sound in shows. And I think the trope of this, I'm thinking of another show now, which, by the way, I was gonna say, what Pluribus has made me do, what episode 1 of Pluribus has made me do is want to go back and re-watch Three Body Problem, which I recommend to you.
Oh, I never watched that.
That's much more sci-fi. That is
Okay.
like, how are we going to solve these sci-fi issues? But there's still a lot of humanity and a lot of really great acting in it. I'm actually interested in your thoughts on it because there's some fantasy elements too, and you might not like it as much as I do, but I think you would generally respect it or give it a day in court. But the one thing that they do in that show in one scene is there's a cop trying to investigate something, and it's like The Wire when they put like all the suspects or potential victims' faces photographically on a bulletin board, and then they take a red marker and they X off somebody who dies. Like, I just don't. Maybe people are still doing stuff visually that way. In episode 4 of Pluribus, she has a big whiteboard in her house that is like revealed, and it's clear that she was using this whiteboard to sort of like work out questions about her novels or whatever. But I'm like, I just don't think that before all of this happened, you were brainstorming on this whiteboard by yourself, because that's the best way a writer can figure out her next book in her trilogy. You know what I mean? You'd probably be sitting behind a computer with copious notes. I mean, there are so many digital ways of doing this. So she takes her whiteboard and she writes what I know about the Pluribus or what I know about them or whatever, and then starts like writing out all this stuff.
A super helpful way for us, the audience, to get a quick download on where her mind is at.
But doesn't make any sense. In the same way, I just don't think. And hey, listen, I'm not a cop. I've never met my.
You have been to a law enforcement convention.
I never met my Irish wife at a law enforcement conference. It would be funny if Arnold Schwarzenegger ended up marrying that woman. But anyway, so I just think that is kind of a visual crutch that filmmakers can't give up on.
Yeah. Do we want to talk for a quick moment about the chair company before we release these people, these fine listeners, out into the world once again?
Sure. Yeah, we got to do Blur's Days too. I don't have any thesis or big questions about the chair company. I'm just still really enjoying it. I feel like
really
episode 5 was the peak, definitely. 6 and 7 I didn't like quite as much, but it's still good. It's just that 6 and 7 are getting a little bit more serious. But there's some. It's just so funny. I watch it at least twice.
I really love and again, this is, I guess, a spoiler or something, but I really love that they finally gave him like a friend in this, i.e. his daughter. Like, I mean, he's got Mike sort of, but like, I like that there's a sane person in the world who actually sees that he's onto something. That was a breath of fresh air for me.
Didn't it? I'm just a little confused about that. Now I feel like I'm looking for things to gripe about, but it's funny you should raise it because that's the one thing that, I mean, it's a weird show. There's tons of stuff that might not fit together. It's surreal. It's weird. It's funny. It's just absurd. But the one thing was, like, we were introduced that his daughter was concerned for his mental health. Like, is she concerned? And it was very clear. Like, there's a whole flashback episode about like how
the Jeep company.
Yeah, because the Jeep company, and we see her, like, she's listening to him tell the story, and then we see her, like, kind of behind his back put a tracer on his car. She's concerned about his mental health. Then at some point, without any explanation, she's helping him solve this mystery. Is she worried about his mental health or not? Why is she sending him into danger?
I think he broke through to her with the tattoo, the colored tattoo that is also the colors of the website of Delaware City.
Yeah, that was the moment, you think?
I guess that would be my guess. Like, yes, definitely, like, she's worried about him, but then there is a point where he presents her with empirical evidence that kind of also the whole conversation about if Wendy's is going to start having a carver that just does ham.
Is that I only watched the last episode once, and I need to rewatch it to remember these details. I assumed that was them doing SpawnCon.
Oh.
I mean, that would be hilarious. I wanted to see, is Wendy's carvers a thing?
It seemed to me to be such a weird... Because like it's like a nicer Wendy's called Wendy's Carvers. And he's like, so is it going to be a Wendy's at all? Like,
yeah.
Certainly if it's SpawnCon, it worked because they talked about it and now we're talking about it. A lot of...
Yeah, what do you think? Is there a chance that like they were like, hey, we could get some money for doing this?
Are you finding a Wendy's Carver on the internet?
I am. Let's see here. It looks like no. It looks like No, it looks like it's just something that is in the Tim Robinson universe, I think.
That felt, for some reason, that just feels like such a Tim Robinson, Zach Kanan weird specific thing. But then
Yeah.
again, I just give them so much credit on everything that it could totally be SpawnCon, but I'm just,
Because it felt like a joke of SpawnCon. You know what I mean? It didn't. It
Yeah,
seemed
yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
if we have to do this, let's just make it like let's literally do a commercial for this thing. But no, I don't know what I find funnier, if they had decided to do SpawnCon in that way or just make it up. But you're right, like it just sounds like something that popped out of their head. So it's maybe silly to think that.
I think this also, by the way, speaks to maybe a little bit. I mean, we're both enjoying the show so much. I'm just like, when I watch it, I'm just blasting your phone with like things that made me laugh about it, like the bonnet that he puts on this dog that he brings home. That he's just the whole way he's trying to act like this dog has been with the family forever.
Yeah, right.
Baby. But the thing is, like, as it's getting a little bit more, you could say in certain ways it's getting more traditional. Like now we have a coherent plot of what's going on, and he's actually getting to the heart of the issue, and he's got his daughter kind of helping him, and she's running part of the mission, et cetera. It's like, I'm enjoying it more and more, and it sounds like you're enjoying it, but that's less what you kind of care about, or what's less entertaining to you?
I actually, the reason it got me was because it had a plot. Like, I know that you've heard me say this a million times now, but like, I was so thankful for the plot when it developed, because I was scared it was going to be a little bit more aimless and bizarre like Friendship was. I like the plot. There was something, when I say episode 5, I think episode 5 was just so good. It's not that I think that it's getting bad. I just think that it ramped up to episode 5, which was so good. Episode 6 and 7 are really good, and there's some funny parts, some really funny parts, but it's just, there was something about the character. I can't remember his name, but he's in a wheelchair for as long as he feels he needs to be.
I don't know
fit.
his
Like,
name either, but
there's just something about episode 5, just like it hit every one of the quadrants, like from plot, comedy, characters. It just hit everything. Whereas episode 6 and 7, it's just like because of where we are in the plot arc, which is totally reasonable, it's just getting a little bit more intense, and so they're having to deal with, I think, a little bit. It just seems a little bit more serious at times. I will say, I really liked the reintegration of the shirt store and that whole text
I wondered
message.
if that
I love
was
that.
always in the plot, or if the response to that guy was so strong that they wrote that back. They wrote that in. They wanted to go back to Tremblaze.
I would be shocked if they didn't have this
was
all. They must have this
mapped
all in
out.
the can before.
I mean,
they can't
the
be
guy
shooting
with
still.
the long sleeve shirt with the diamonds.
Yeah, that is. I love
is my
that
hippie
whole
shirt.
thing. I love
Oh
that
my God,
whole thing with the diamonds, and then my dog is sniffing the
my
part
hippie
that it used to. Oh my God, I love it. That to me, that felt like the most I think you should leave of the whole thing. But I thought it was great. No, I'm still very, very into the show. I thought it was going to be 8 episodes, but after episode 7, with that ending of episode 7, I'm like, oh, this is where they're wrapping up the season. I'm actually a little bit nervous about episode 8, because I sort of thought, like, the show usually ends. There's some huge reveal at the end of each episode, then it cuts to black. This one didn't do that. It had that long, drawn out, like he's dancing and crying and smiling and dancing.
I would
and
totally,
crying.
if I were in he's never been more relatable to me than when he's doing what he thinks is kind of a selfless thing, and crying and staring at himself in the mirror, crying, doing a selfless thing.
Yeah, right.
That's a move I would pull.
It seemed like such the end of the series or the season. Like so now they're going to reopen something and then close it down, I guess, in one episode.
Maybe next season is the desk company.
Maybe it is.
He sits on a desk and there's a problem.
Applying logic to this show doesn't make a lot of sense, but I will say that, like, they make it seem like he's got this, like, sort of like digital problem of either you blow up this whole thing and your wife loses her funding, or you stay quiet and the wife keeps her funding. But I feel like there's another much more reasonable, and I know nobody's reasonable in the show, but what you could do is just go home and privately have a conversation with your wife and say, hey, listen, I know I've been acting funny. Here is everything I've learned, and now they've essentially admitted it to me. I was in her office. She confronted me. You got to believe me. I wouldn't lie about this. What should we do about it? Should we expose it, or would you like to keep the money and stay quiet? You know what I mean? There is but obviously he's not reasonable, so maybe that's a dumb thing to bring up.
There's a right way to rock and a wrong way to roll. You can just listen to your soul. Just remember that life is number one. You can be having so much fun. Just remember that life is much fun. You can be number
All right, before we get into the Blur's Days, quick reminder that the TBTL holiday party is coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah,
a few
it
weeks.
is.
Friday, December 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, via Zoom. We're going to be getting together all the tens of listeners who choose to join us for another holiday party. We'll be sipping some eggnog and specifically talking to folks about their favorite holiday traditions. If you have a story you'd like to share or a tradition you'd like to share, you can raise your hand and we'll call on you and we'll chat. If you just want to hang out and not necessarily participate vocally, that's fine as well. It's just a hangout. It's a digital hangout with your pals. And if you want to sign up to get the Zoom link for that, just go to tbtl.net and hit that little blue button at the top of the page.
Yes, please.
Meanwhile, let's celebrate something else called Blur's Days. Apologies to Danny in New Hampshire, by the way, one of our Dannys. We did our Blur's Day recording a little bit early last week, and so Danny, unfortunately, she got it in on time on paper, but we didn't work it in. So this is a belated. I'm sorry, that's on me, Danny. But happy Blur's Day. Danny says happy Blur's Day to me. Looking forward to some birthday bowling with family on my Blurs. Sounds like that might have been last Saturday, so maybe the birthday bowling is over. How did it go, Danny? Danny says, wishing all of the tens a happy Turkey Day. Happy Blur's Day, Danny. I hope that bowling was fun. Michael says, I want to send a 13th Blur's Day shout out to my 5, Lydia the Less Dead.
Oh.
And then in parentheses, it says, Luke's words, not mine, episode 3047 at the 1 hour, 5 minute, 30 second mark. She is an incredibly talented dancer, musician, and artist and athlete, and I could not be more proud of her. Happy birthday, DJ Liddy Lids. Love you. Kiss, kiss, bonk, bonk.
So explain that.
I'm sorry, I messed that up. It was just kiss, kiss, bonk. I added a bonk. Jamie says, hey, y'all, just want to send a belated birthday message to my dad, Troy. His birthday is the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving this year. That's right. Heralded as Lenny Smosky's birthday. Sorry we're a little bit late on this one. Happy birthday, Dad. I hope I was able to make your birthday a good one. Nice. Happy Blur's Day, Troy. Aaron says, happy Blur's Day to my amazing 10-friendo, Krista. Looking forward to celebrating you this weekend. You are really one of the good humans out there doing the good work. Appreciate you. Thank you for being a 10. Happy birthday, your 10-friendo, Aaron.
Nice.
Very nice. Very sweet. Eric and Luna say we want to wish a happy Blur's Day. Okay, I already messed this up, and I was going to try to improv my way out of it, but I can't. I got to start over. We want to wish Lindsay a happy celebration of living Blur's Day.
Okay.
What was in the box? How about emergency surgeries with super long recoveries? We are all so happy that you're here to shame eat with us at our local watering hole and to endure record-breaking long-ass MLB games together. You are strong, compassionate, and inspiration to us all. Happy Blur's Day, Lindsay Lou.
Aww. Hope you're doing well.
Indeed.
I'm glad you're here.
Indeed. Hope you're recovered. We're recovering well. Angela says, I want to wish my incredibly talented and funny husband, Justin W., a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Justin W.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. All right. I always edit these things, but I forgot to edit this one, so I'm going to just read it. Sorry for everybody else who's been edited in the past, and you're getting a long one here. From Arthur, who says, I'm turning 62 this week on Wednesday, and while I'm not much for grandstanding, I thought I'd try out some self-promotion. I share my birthday week with my grandson, Simon, so happy second birthday to Simon in Minneapolis.
Nice.
And I'd like to invite the Portland 10s who walk their dogs to come by 19th Avenue and Reedway Street to get a treat from the dog treat station that I put up this year. We don't have dogs, but I enjoy giving out biscuits and tennis balls to doggos who need them. Nice. Very nice. All right, well, that was a So there's a dog station. Have you seen these? I've seen them on Instagram.
No,
these dog
I haven't
stations.
seen them. I've seen the little libraries, of course, but I don't think I've seen a little dog station.
You know what I've seen is they call them little, instead of little free libraries, they call them little free stick libraries or something, and they'll like be a collection of sticks that dogs can grab.
Oh, come on.
And then I've seen one with tennis balls and stuff. So
I was telling you how this week earlier, way back on Monday, I was at that place called Cycle Dog, and it also has, like, you can bring your dog there to play, and so there was a bunch of dogs running around, and my goodness gracious, like, it was doing a number on me. All of these adorable little dogs that I was saying hi to and stuff, and this one dog named Ranger was demonstrating this particular kind of collar, and we had him jump up on a picnic table, and he was just like sitting so still and being so good. It was like, really looking forward to someday getting a dog.
Genevieve I think I've told you this, been sending me a lot of photos of dogs, but we're looking specifically for dogs that get along with cats. So what I'm getting is a lot of photos of dogs snuggling with cats, and now and then I'm just like, well, we'll take them both.
That'll soothe the savage soul.
Well, sort of, but it's also sort of torture to see all these dogs and to read their stories and be like, I was reading the story of a dog who her favorite thing is to play with her toys, and yes, sometimes she'll take all of her toys and hide them so that she can protect them in her little cage, but she mostly just wants to chill out with you. And like the reading of the backstories, I'm just kind of like, I would die for this dog today. I've never even met this dog. And,
I didn't know this dog existed 5 minutes ago, and now I would literally trade my life for it.
Exactly. And you see like 5 of those a day, and it's like a kind of
Andrew?
torture.
Someone's going to get a PETA mug.
That's right.
Someone just earned a PETA mug, my friend.
That was me.
All right. That's going to do it for this broadcast week. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you all had a nice holiday week and got to relax at least a little bit and enjoy some good food. We're me back here on Monday with more Imaginary Radio for you. I will be in Miami, so I am with, I'm sure, many stories from my time traveling there. So we'll see you for that. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Go Seahawks. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.